Hello and welcome to another Impulsive Compulsion video here at Question the Truth with me, Slisk Lindqvist, and today I'm going to talk about societal differences. Well, it's not really societal differences, but it is values in an aspect that people have problems with. There's so much people out there in the world that cannot figure out how other people think at all, and don't understand how they could have the views that they have at all, but they live in a whole other societal difference. Totally, utterly different, super different. And because you have a whole other perspective, or a whole other view of the full perspective of societal function, or the morals and values of an idea, or that one or two or anyone uses. Fudge, I lost track of myself even. Yeah, okay. So, because of societal differences, which in itself is basically not because of systemic shit. Well, it is kind of a systemic problem, but it's more or less a systemic problem with the personalities of the people in that bubble of arrangement that you live in. It's not the rich person's fault that you are in the situation that you are in. It's your parents' fault, and if it's not your parents' fault, it's the parents of your parents. And it goes on like that, but because mostly it's a state of being. In order to become something, you have to struggle mentally with yourself. You cannot, like, see yourself like this nice person, and then like everyone else is evil. It doesn't work like that. The world isn't inherently evil. Nothing is evil in itself. It's just you and your perspective and your mental maturity that is the problem in that situation. So let's go back to societal differences. What is a societal difference, even? To begin with, because people are people, they live in the same situations regardless of if they have money or not. It's basically, if it comes down to basically one thing, and that is motivation. How much motivation did your parents give you to change your life to the better from what they themselves lived? Or how much did they motivate themselves to give you a better life? That's two whole different states of being. One of them is taking action, the other one is dreaming of up the world that you could live in. Instead of creating the world that you could live in, they try to motivate you to create that world to live in. They are not even trying to show you the possibilities. They just accept the world that they live in, and that kind of messes with their mental maturity a whole bit. And if you can differentiate those two things, you can actually start to understand other people in some ways. But we have really big problems in other things. Like we don't understand each other, and it doesn't come down to if you're male or female. We don't understand each other even if we are of the same sex or gender or whatever you want to call it. It's basically we misunderstand each other because we judge each other. We have what's it called? Can't remember. Wait, I'm gonna check that up. Okay. What? No. I didn't say that. I stated that. Yeah. So. Okay. So. Yeah. Usually we live with hopes, and with hopes comes the obvious disappointment when your worldview isn't what the other one creates for you. Because you do not determine how other people live, or act, or what they say, or what they see, or hear, or expect of others. You can only show them what you accept or expect from others. That is your purpose in life, kind of. One of your purposes. Create the expectations that you want to see in others so that they can see what they should give. But we don't see that, more or less, because we aren't that adept to actually understanding other people's actions, really. So we tend to misunderstand what those actions are supposed to be because we don't have the accurate associations to them. So what do I mean by this? Well, take a text for example, and I'm gonna change view here so that you can see one. This is a big problem for me at least. I actually do try to understand the people to the fullest extent of my capabilities all the time, but it still comes down to this. What others say isn't always malignant. It's your interpretation that gives it power over you. And even if I know this by heart, it's still so difficult to live by it. It actually is super difficult to live by it. And it makes me so sad when I lash out on others, and it's because of my own association and my perspective. It's because of how I use the language that I misinterpret other people's communicative skills. So but I can see that fault in myself, and still I do really bad stuff. I use myself as a reference to what others state, say, hear, see, etc. And I project myself and my values upon others. I have hopes others understanding me. Yet, it's probably me not understanding others, and I don't know why it is like this. I don't understand. It's not difficult to write to each other. It's really no. Like this. Have here. If it hadn't been him here, that had written good luck and grått nytt hår, which is grey new hair, which is happy new year, also gott nytt år, grått nytt hår, which is happy new year, basically, or happy grey hair, or grey new hair. It's the translation from Swedish to English becomes strange, but in Swedish it's a joke. He's being silly, but still, what others say isn't always malignant. It's your interpretation that gives it power over you. And I got angry first, but then it was like, oh, fuck, he's so freaking silly all the time. He's just... It's his personality to be like this. And if I hadn't known that, either I wouldn't care about it, or I would. And why I care about it is because, I don't know, do I care about other people, or do I care about myself, or I don't know why I get angry sometimes, or irritated, when it's obvious that it's my problem. And it comes down to the same thing with the... Let's go to the opening again. Societal differences is it is the same thing. It's the same problem. Politics, the same problem. Always the same freaking problem. And yet we are like politics. What is politics? People don't even understand what politics is. Politics is how to implement the values of the voters, basically. So a politician is creating compromises around their values. But values, what are values? Values are basically a difference in perspectives, which means a difference in levels of maturity. That's all it is. One day, maybe, perhaps, no, I figure it would never happen that we could ever have a society that is 100,000% compliant with each other, because we aren't on the same page. We aren't on the same mental maturity. We aren't capable of being on the same mental maturity. Therefore, we will always be clashing towards each other because of our indifferences to understand each other. And it shouldn't be that much of a problem, really, because all comes down to you alone, your interpretation, your associations. And if you see a racist, if two children meet each other, one is creamy milk white, and the other one is... So one is ivory white, and the other one is Ethiopian, dark brown, almost black. Okay, so the white child takes a dump, and that is the biggest, or the association to the other person that it has, because it hasn't seen any other things that could have that specific dark color other than the crap that it's that person has taken. So that person compares the black one with that, and it isn't inherently malignant. It's an association because they don't have another thing to associate towards. So, but the black person associates the shit as crap, as the lowest value you can put on anything, because it's been taught that way. But if you are a very intelligent being, which humans are supposed to be, you would understand that it is an association, and it is not a racist association. It is just a picture combined with another picture. It's data towards data. If you can understand that, then you can actually start to understand that some people say stuff that is really freaking stupid, but it doesn't mean that they are inherently bad because of it, because there isn't good or bad in this world. It is I don't really know how to. There isn't anything bad. There isn't any darkness either. There's only light everywhere. Because with that light, there wouldn't be any form in anything. If you take a projector and you start it, which I did, and I watched the light, I couldn't see the light. The light is there between the projector's lens and the wall. It is there between those two, but still you do not engage with it up until the moment that it actually crashes into the wall. That is when you can start to see the light. Between there isn't any light. It's darkness, basically. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but yeah. I have some food to take care of, so I'm a bit stressed right now, so I'm sorry, but I have to do this. It will be a very, very short rant, but hopefully you'll understand. And thank you for watching, and see you in a later Impulsive Compulsion here at Question the Truth. Goodbye.